You ever get that feeling, that kind of creeping sense that your budget is getting tighter, even though you haven't really changed anything? Well, I'm here to tell you, you are not imagining it. In this explainer, we're going to break down what that feeling is, where it really comes from, and, how the whole system behind these rising prices actually works.
It never really announces itself with a big bang, does it? It's always a quiet change, something you might just brush off at first.
Maybe it's your morning coffee, or that gallon of milk you always grab. It's that tiny little pause, that little moment of hesitation where the price in your head clashes with the number on the screen. Yeah, that one thing you just toss in the shopping cart, no second thought. Now, all of a sudden, it makes you stop. You find yourself doing that quick mental math on something that used to be a total no-brainer.
So what starts as this, subtle feeling on just one or two things, it starts to add up. It's a really gradual shift, but eventually you hit this tipping point where you just can't ignore it anymore.
Because it's not just one thing, is it? It's the essentials. It's the food you buy every week, the rent that seems to creep up every single year, the price at the pump that basically decides how far you can go. It feels like it's everywhere, all at once. And this is the real heart of it, right? You're working just as hard, you're making the same choices, but for some reason, your money just doesn't stretch as far. It's this super frustrating, kind of disorienting feeling, like you're losing ground even while you're standing still. So let's start right there, because before we dive into any of the charts or the numbers, we have to remember this isn't just about economics. It's a real, lived, daily experience.
Exactly. You don't need a spreadsheet to know something's up. You feel it at the checkout counter, you feel it when the bills are due. That gut feeling, that's the real data point we're going to explore. It's where this whole story really begins. Okay, so let's connect that personal feeling to the much bigger system at play. It's time to kind of look under the hood and see the mechanics that are actually causing all these price changes.
Look, you can hear a million complicated definitions for inflation, but this is the only one that truly matters in your day-to-day life. A dollar today does not buy the same amount of stuff it did yesterday. It's really that simple, and that's powerful. This is the big question, isn't it? It seems logical. If prices can shoot up, why can't they just fall back down? Well, the simple answer is that once the whole system adjusts to a new, higher price, it tends to get, anchored there. So here's how that usually works. First, a company's costs go up, materials, shipping, labor, whatever. So they raise their prices to cover it. But here's the kicker. Even if their costs dip back down later, they've already proven that we, the customers, are willing to pay that new, higher price. So that higher price becomes the new floor. It's the new normal. It's why you often hear prices described as sticky. They go up easily, but they don't like to come down. All right, now we're getting to the real heart of it. This is the spot where that abstract economic machine connects directly back to that feeling we all know, that feeling of just treading water, or maybe even slipping backwards. We hear it on the news all the time, right? Inflation is up 3%. But let's be honest, we don't live in percentages. We live in actual dollars and cents. A 3% increase on your rent and your groceries and your gas all at once? It feels a whole lot bigger than 3% because it's a direct hit to your real, tangible budget. And this chart, this visualizes the whole problem perfectly. Over time, that first bar, the cost of living, it often climbs way faster than the second bar, our income. And that space in between them, that's the gap. That is the literal visual reason why you can be working harder than ever and still feel like you're falling behind. And look, this isn't just some number on a chart. It has real-world consequences. When that gap gets wider, people can't just keep living the way they always have. You're forced to adjust. And those adjustments? They mean making some pretty tough choices. Buying the store brand instead of your favorite one, putting off that family vacation, or holding off on getting a new car. These aren't choices you make because you want to. They're choices you make out of necessity. And they're all driven by that widening gap. It's so tempting to look for one single thing or one person to blame for all this, but the reality is just so much more complex. We're dealing with a huge, dynamic, interconnected system. The big takeaway here is that there's no single on-off switch. Prices change because of this constant push and pull. You've got global events messing with the supply of stuff, you've got strong consumer demand with more people chasing those same things, and then you throw government policies into the mix, and you get this incredibly complex system where absolutely everything is connected. And even though that system can feel totally chaotic, it does have its own kind of logic. These price movements aren't random, they're reactions. They are the entire system, just adjusting and rebalancing itself in response to all those different pressures we just saw. Now, this is the final and maybe the most important piece of the whole puzzle. A 10-cent increase here, a 50-cent jump there, by themselves they seem like no big deal, manageable. But they don't happen in a vacuum. They stack up. They compound on each other, month after month, year after year, in this super quiet, gradual process, until you wake up one day and the whole financial world just looks and feels completely different. And that's the moment it all clicks. The lifestyle that was once just normal, the purchases that were once easy, they suddenly take a level of financial effort they never did before. The entire baseline has shifted right from under our feet, and it leaves us wondering, if the system keeps changing like this, what is normal even going to feel like tomorrow?